this business and building since the 1930s when it opened up.
Thank you. So nice to see everyone coming. I had no idea to see this kind of interest, but there's kind of two histories. One is what little I know of the building and of the store. And the store goes back to my grandfather was a Lithuanian immigrant, came to this country around 1912, 1914, something like that. And he had a couple of different ventures. And the second last venture, he had 3 furniture stores. One was in downtown Des Moines on Walnut Street. That's where all the furniture stores were in Des Moines at that one time. And he had a furniture store in Newton, Iowa on the square, and one in Perry, Iowa. And business doing very well, but he trusted his managers. And his managers actually stole quite a bit from him, not knowing what happened. And then the Depression hit. He was flat out broke. He lost everything. In fact, my grandmothers came from a large family, and some of the brothers and sisters used to chip in to help give money for school clothes for my dad and my Aunt Etty to school. And he always was so relieved when he had a 100-pound sack of potatoes and onions. He thought he could get through the winter. And through all this going on, he had a leaky toilet. And you did what you always did. You called a plumber, and the plumber charged him not quite $5, and he had to make payments. He thought to himself, maybe for little things, maybe a person could do a few things on their own. And a few things on their own. And excuse me. So he went around to some of the plumbing distributors at that time here, and they wouldn't sell. He says, no, people aren't going to do the things on their own. They wouldn't sell them. So my grandfather said, okay. He borrowed $150 from all his friends, and he had a relative in Sheraton, Iowa, that loaned him a large stake truck. And he went to Chicago and brought back a load of used plumbing. He started selling a little bit in his backyard, and there was a storefront on 407 East Locust. It was part of called the Columbia Building. It had storefronts, and he paid rent $25 a month. And then after a little while, he had a little bit of business, and of course his first love was furniture. So he sold some furniture and used plumbing, and he saw this place about 1938, and the bank wanted $50 a month rent. He wasn't sure he could pay it, but said, let me try, give me $25 every 2 weeks until he got on his feet. So here it was half-used plumbing, half-used furniture, and they had a poster doing upholstery here. And so that got us to World War II. And my dad went off to World War II. If I back up just a little bit, with all this going on with my grandfather, my dad started fixing bicycles for the neighborhood kids. And he started to fix bicycles, and during the different loads that used plumbing to Chicago, my grandfather would take, my father's sister, my Aunt Etty, were very, very close. And my Aunt Etty, a couple years older, used to write letters to Western Auto in Chicago, say that, do you have any used bicycles or they trade in bicycles there. And it says if you have some spare old bicycles, my grandfather would stop by. So after he got a load of plumbing, he would tie bicycles on the top for him. And so my dad had a nice little business for a high school kid to do. So during World War or after World War II, it's all a lot of time in between, but after World War II, my grandfather started, the economy was getting better. soldiers are coming back home to want homes or fix up their parents' homes. And the store started doing good, but my dad, he was wonderful talking to people. He was a good, later years he was a Polk County mediator also, just to talk to people. He was very good. He wanted to come back to be a psychologist. And, in the war, with guns firing off all sides of you, he kind of lost a lot of his hearing. And back then, the university or schools weren't too, they didn't help someone that's a little bit handicapped to be a psychologist or any other profession. So he came back here and saw what his dad was doing. And he says, if we're going to make it, we're going to have to bring in new. So my dad himself went to Chicago several times to have contacts of buying, new suppliers, and started bringing in plumbing, and the store kind of thrived during that time. We had 2 trucks that did nothing but delivery off and on during the day, and was doing very well. And during that time, I mentioned my Aunt Etty. She helped also out in the store, and there's a picture of her with my grandfather and my dad here. So they always, it was a team, it was family, everyone worked together. In fact, my Aunt Etty had 2 boys, and they also worked in the store during summer break during college. And the store was doing well. Of course, there's recessions and good times too. And what kind of knocked us out, in the early 60s, mid-60s, the freeway was carving its way through Des Moines and has taken out houses. And the Highway Commission let people go in and rob things and, take things out. So it was our business going downhill. In between that, with all the business we were having, people used to come in for kind of, their faucet was leaking, their parts. No one really cataloged or stocked parts for us to buy from. And when the store was kind of going a little bit downhill because of the freeway coming through, we started getting parts. And we started getting known to repair parts for faucets. And so that's what's back here is, we're very big into faucet parts. You need parts for a 1910 faucet or 2010 faucet many times, not all the time, most of the time we have parts for it. And that's the story of American plumbing. So
you're a lifesaver for old plumbing people.
That's our niche because in the 60s also, my dad was buying from a company, and one of the salesmen says, Harlan, there's something new's coming down. You won't have a chance. It was a company called Wicks Lumber. That was probably the first of the plumbing or hard, box, small style. Now they're bigger and bigger box stores, and that kind of pushes into the niche. Just like Dave said, is the faucet repair parts and parts for older homes that the big box stores maybe not have the knowledge of it, but also if it's not turning over the shelf immediately, they wouldn't want it anyway. So that's our niche, and that's where we are today.